You ever hear a song so smooth, so dangerous? It feels like a secret being whispered straight into your soul. That's what it was like hearing her play. Her name was Valaida Snow, but to the men who loved her, feared her, and ultimately lost everything because of her, she was known by another name, the Saxophone Seductress. This is the true story of a dazzling jazz diva who lit up Harlem stages, seduced one of the city's most powerful mobsters, and then vanished. What happened between her and a gangster named Chester Big C Gaines would shake the Harlem underworld and prove that in the jazz age, power didn't always come from a pistol. Sometimes it came from a woman with a horn and a killer smile. Now, let's rewind for a second. It's 1904, Chattanooga, Tennessee. A baby girl is born into a house filled with music. Her name, Valaida. Her mom was a music teacher. Her dad, a band leader. It was practically written in the stars. This girl was going to make noise. By the time she's a teenager, she's not just playing instruments, she's mastering them. Violin, cello, bass, piano, clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, you name it. She even sang, danced, and conducted orchestras. At 15. 15. People started calling her a prodigy, then a phenomenon, but none of those labels stuck quite like the one she earned later. Little Louie. As in, Louis Armstrong himself said she was second only to him on the trumpet. And let's be real, that's not something Satchmo said lightly. By the Roaring '20s, Harlem wasn't just a neighborhood, it was a movement. Jazz clubs lit up every corner. Black writers, painters, and musicians were making history every night. And in the middle of it all, there she was, Valaida Snow. Silk gowns, diamonds, lipstick like war paint, and that horn wailing like it had something to confess. Crowds worshipped her. Bandmates envied her. Women adored her. And men? Well, let's just say they didn't stand a chance. One of those men happened to be Chester Big C Gaines, Harlem's very own numbers king. Now, if you don't know what the numbers racket was, picture a lottery, run out of barbershops, candy stores, and backroom pool halls. Totally illegal, totally profitable. And in Harlem, it was big business. Big C wasn't just rich, he was respected, feared, and ruthless. He had cops on payroll, judges in his pocket, and enemies buried deep. But when he saw Valaida on stage for the first time, let's just say he got soft. He sent over a bottle of champagne and a note that read, "That trumpet ain't the only thing blowing my mind." At first, Valaida, they were Harlem's royal couple, at least in public. Behind the scenes, let's just say it was complicated. Big C wanted Valaida to settle down, be his lady, his prize. But she was never built for glass cases. She flirted, she traveled, she played late-night sets with other musicians. And one night at an after-hours jam session, she met Earl Baby Blue Carver. Now he was trouble. Young, smooth, easy on the eyes, and plot twist, Big C's right-hand man. Baby Blue handled the books, the muscle, the money drops. He knew where the bodies were buried and how the empire worked. And Valaida, she couldn't resist him. Some say it started as revenge. Others say it was love. Either way, sparks flew. At first, it was just whispers. They were spotted leading the same hotel. He started showing up at her rehearsals. She started wearing a new necklace that wasn't from Big C. But when the whispers turned into evidence, that's when things really got wild. See, Valaida had access to Big C's office, his safes, his secrets. And one night in 1932, while Big C was out celebrating a business expansion, someone broke into his main stash house. They didn't take cash. They took ledgers, names, drop points, code books. everything needed to tear down an empire. Days later, the feds raided 5 properties. Big C's accountant disappeared. One of his safe houses went up in flames. And guess who also disappeared? Yep, Valaida Snow, gone on a steamer to Europe with her band, and allegedly with Baby Blue, though no one could confirm it. Back in Harlem, Big C was arrested for racketeering, tax evasion, and conspiracy, but no one snitched. No one had to. The evidence told the story. And Valaida, she never looked back. In Europe, she became a sensation. Paris, Copenhagen, London. Everywhere she went, she left crowds breathless. She wore red gloves, sipped absinthe, and played jazz like her soul was on fire. But just when it seemed like her scandal was behind her, World War II happened. In 1941, while touring in Denmark, Valaida was arrested by Nazi forces. Some say she was mistaken for a spy. Others claim she was targeted because of her race, her glamour, or her refusal to bow. She spent 2 years in a prison camp. 2 years of silence, of hunger, of survival. And when she finally made it back to the U.S., she wasn't the same. Older, wiser, quieter. The big band gigs were gone. The clubs had changed. The spotlight had dimmed. But still, she played. Small venues, jazz festivals, anywhere that would have her. And when she picked up that trumpet, the room still held its breath. In 1956, she was set to perform at a club in New York. The crowd was small but loyal. She played her set, took a bow, and collapsed backstage. Valaida Snow died doing what she loved, with style, with power, and with no apologies. So what really happened? Did she betray Big C? Was it revenge, self-preservation? Or did she just outplay a system that never made room for women like her? The truth is, no one knows for sure. But here's what we do know. She was brilliant, and she refused to be anyone's